I severed the record button.
Well, now it doesn't work because you severed it.
Well, no, now it records forever. Everything is recorded. God knows what you do every second, Mark. He's watching you.
Yeah, I wish I thought that highly of myself to think that God was
Speaking
paying that much
of
attention.
speaking of watching, I'm watching the last 5 or 10 minutes of this film, by the way.
Oh, okay.
All right.
We can have the
Well,
pre-show commentary. We could talk over it. Who cares?
Yeah, I mean, I'm watching probably the one good bit,
you
which is the
you might
justification for why they have Ray Park trying to act all the way through it.
you might think that at the very end they finally actually fight and we get Ballistic Ecks versus Sever, but you'd be wrong.
No. They've done the thing you do in every versus where they've teamed up at this point.
Right.
Yes.
I'd seen this. I
At
watched
least
this when I was
Freddy.
like 12.
Oh man. At least Freddy and Jason had the decency to team up early and then turn on each other.
Well, no, Freddy uses Jason. It's not really a team up. It's more of a using of.
I will poke fun at this movie, but I did enjoy it actually.
It does not belong on the bottom 100 films of all time list. I'll say that.
No. You know what? Like running that film festival, I've watched at least 500 movies worse than this.
I could watch the last 5 minutes again, but I erased it.
Oh, I watched it on the internet. I couldn't find a download.
I'm watching Lucy Liu whip a man with a chain right now. So
hell yeah.
Yeah.
He's gonna die. You already know that. You've seen it. Saw it when you're 12.
He's gonna die.
Also, of course, I know that.
No one forgets anything they saw when they were 12. I definitely remember.
No, I mean, I don't remember anything from this film, but I know this guy's about to die.
I remember we had a double feature of Wayne's World 2 and Malcolm X when I was 12 years old, maybe 13.
That's like 5 hours.
I know. In two movies that definitely don't fit together.
Yeah, you could argue that even Malcolm X could be shortened, but Wayne's World 2 is definitely too long.
What? No, Wayne's World 2 is a perfect movie.
Perfect?
Yeah, perfect. It's a perfect movie.
You think it's better than the first one?
Yes.
Interesting.
I also think Anchorman 2 is better than Anchorman 1, as I said a few times, I think.
Whoa, that's weird.
Mm.
I mean, I think I've mentioned that I have like a grudge against Wayne's World because I feel like SNL would have been canceled a long time ago if Wayne's World hadn't like saved it, which makes me mad at Wayne's World.
I'm gonna not be the man in the chair and close down my browser because that probably will make my Zoom less choppy.
Might as well close it if you got it. Close them if you got them.
I suppose that means I should probably get the iPad though, but not forget it. Okay, I know what to do. Auxiliary iPad, and then if I forget that, it doesn't matter because I don't need it.
I'm gonna close Steam.
Matt's just got iPads coming out of his butt.
Yeah, and then my wife.
It's a lot of.
Like yesterday, she's like, "I want to get an iPad to record meetings." I'm like, "There's like, just use that one. Does it have enough space? Probably."
I have this issue where I basically have like 3 laptops and 2 iPads and just never use any of them. I just use my desktop computer, my phone, and I should just get rid of all of them, but I'm too lazy.
Bring up the wiki for this, and then I'll be at least my. I mean, I read it right, but I watched your. Well, I kind of watched your video.
Yeah, the emulator just flipped out for some reason. I have no idea.
Yours. I guess Luke had a better take of the game since he had the actual game.
the interesting stuff wasn't the gameplay. The interesting stuff was the menus, really.
Oh yeah. The menus are fun.
Where Ecks and Sever are both clearly South Asian people in the game, and
which game did you play? Ecks versus Sever or Ecks versus Sever 2 Ballistic?
Ecks versus Sever 1. So that was
I think that's before they even had the. We'll go into it in the podcast because it is quite interesting.
Okay, that's.
I think they're delivering plot. Do I care about this? Probably not.
Are they on the pier at the end?
Yeah.
She's like, "Stay safe, take care of your family," and he's like, "Thank you."
Whatever.
Oh no! They're not quite there yet.
Oh,
he's having a showdown with the baddie.
Oh no!
There we go. Has he got the frog in his heart? Yeah, he does. Nice.
Yeah, I had no fucking idea what that was until they
They did
sort of
describe it.
explained it there. I guess I didn't pay attention during the movie.
No, that was the
Um,
mission.
Okay, I had
Yeah.
trouble understanding what anybody was saying during the
It is a little hard to pay
FBI
attention to this
exposition.
movie. Oh,
Antonio Banderas
Nah, that's on
needed
YouTube.
some
Anyway, I'm done.
ADR.
okay.
As I guessed, there was 5 minutes of credits.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
don't have to watch that. You have to watch. You don't even want
You
to see
have
the
to watch
post credit scene. You might have post credit scene.
Yeah, like what fucking like Tim Roth shows up and he says he's putting together a team. I just thought of someone from the 90s or 2000s.
Where did that just? Who were we talking about that?
I was joking about Ikir, the guy from Ikir showing up. At the end
Oh,
of it,
right.
starting a team. Well,
Do you want to get rolling then?
Rolling,
Okay.
roll hard.
alrighty.
Actually, I'd
Bring
rather you
the-
leave 5 seconds of silence and then start.
Okay, 5 seconds of silence.
In at number 99, it's the film that is the most ratings for a 0% film on Rotten Tomatoes, widely regarded as the worst film of all time, source of some pretty good Game Boy games. It's Ecks versus Sever.
Don't you have to say ballistic? I thought it was Ballistic Ecks versus Sever.
Oh, well, the Game Boy game is Ecks versus Sever 2, Ballistic.
Oh, but the movie that we're talking about today is Ballistic, Ecks versus Sever.
A lot of the files for download just said ballistic.
That
Whereas-
simplifies things, but that's cheating. That's no fun.
Before release, it was just Ecks versus Sever. I don't know when the Ballistic was added.
When they bought
Okay.
the gun, I guess. I don't really know why. Maybe it's like a ballet of gunplay. Is that why it's ballistic?
There are roughly 350 explosions that have nothing to do with anything that happened in this film. I think that's sort of what it means.
Oh, that can't be at the bottom of a list. Come on.
No, it shouldn't be.
plus explosions. I could just watch explosions for 2 hours and that'd be cool, right?
It doesn't belong at the bottom of I don't. Anyway, did you pick up that X is Talisa Soto's X and Sever wants to sever the robot frog from the kid?
Speaking of witty
It's symbolism,
wordplay.
dude.
Okay. Who's here? Matt's here. I'm Matt. That's me.
Mark's
I'm
here.
Luke.
He's her.
Double intro. You'll just have to work it out. Listen to it twice. You'll get their names.
Well, which
Film-
of us is Ballistic, which of us is Ecks, and which of us is Sever?
I want to be
Uh,
X because it sounds like you're about to vomit.
I'll
I'm
be
definitely
Ballistic.
Ballistic. Ah, damn
it.
you. I guess I'm Sever. I'm happy to be Lucy Liu.
This is Films and Filth, where today we're looking at the bottom 100 list, number 99. But Rotten Tomatoes, it's number one suck, is it? It's the number one suck?
It's because it has the most reviews of a film that's still at 0% fresh.
How about Metacritic? Does it get like at least a 12 on Metacritic?
I
or
didn't
something?
look, and I'm not going to look, and I don't care to look.
I just want to know.
I'm upset that I know this much about what Metascores it has.
I just want to learn about
I
little
hate
numbers.
you for making me
That's
do
all.
this.
I just
I mean,
want to learn about
isn't-
little numbers.
I never want to hear another number as long as I live, and I know I will. And I
Okay,
resent that fact.
69. 69.
420. Okay, but Rotten Tomatoes is owned by Amazon, right?
I don't
Fucking
know.
Who
Elon
owns
Musk level
IMDb?
humor from you boys.
Who owns IMDb? Who owns
I think,
IMDb?
North
Amazon
Korea-
owns IMDb. Then who
North
the hell
Korea
owns
owns
Rotten
IMDb because they got it confused with ICBMs.
Mm.
They'll unleash the scores upon us all.
Jeff Bezos owns everything. Maybe he's gonna buy Branson's rocket company. He just went bankrupt, I hear. So
Fandango owns Rotten Tomatoes.
who owns
What, like the
Fandango?
wrestler? Nice.
Fandango is in the States. It's where you can buy your movie. It's like the Ticketmaster.
No, I know what
movie
it is.
theaters.
I'm just saying.
I know
who
what it
owns
was.
them?
It would be
Jeff
more fun to
Bezos.
pretend. it was the
Okay, I don't know
wrestler.
if you guys know. I mean, Matt hasn't been here in 14 years. I'm not sure what she.
Fandango
What-
is older than that. I bought tickets on Fandango before, like in the early 2000s,
Okay.
for Ballistic Ecks versus Sever. Actually, that's not
Did you?
true. No, this is the
Hmm.
first time I saw this movie. I first
Mhm.
saw it mentioned on like a bad movie list on like Cracked or something, right? And just the title broke my brain. Like I think that's the first thing with the movie. The title just breaks your brain. It's like I don't care that these people are versus each other. I don't know who they are and why is it Ballistic, right? I mean, there's just so many things to think about with this title.
Not
But
really. I
they're
think it's pretty
friends.
standard.
Yeah, they do fight each other, kind of, but
Not
you know,
much.
really, they want to fuck each other, but also
He definitely had a lot more chemistry with her than the one we're supposed to believe is his wife and the love of his life.
I wonder
Maybe
if that's
because
just
one of them was Lucy Liu and she's great on screen, and the other one was someone I've never heard of who didn't really act.
I'm like, was cinema just so misogynistic that you can't have like two sexy assassins that are different genders fighting each other without them getting kind of horny? In 2002, is that a thing?
I don't know, because it didn't seem like the film was deliberately going for that.
Yeah, it didn't feel like that horny a film or anything. I mean, there's you have a couple of glamour shots, as they say,
I don't think
Yeah.
the film was really trying to be a much of anything. I think Lucy Liu got some instructions that was like, you be a stone cold assassin, and she probably kept getting told that. And Antonio Banderas is like, you miss your
It was
family.
sad.
You be sad. You're sad. And she's dead inside, but you're also horny. That's what it should have been called.
That's the direction of chaos.
Yes. I want to believe that Chaos just showed up and he was like, whoa, whatever, you do anything, man. It's crazy.
So, Luke, you said you actually watched this before.
So I bought the Game Boy game when it came out. And the first Game Boy game was based on an early script of the film and came out like almost a full year before the film. So when it came out, I didn't know that it was based on a film. No one did. The cover art is just a drawing. Like there's no actors' likenesses in there.
It's a silhouette. It's two silhouettes of people who are obviously a man and a woman with guns. It's like very dark, so you can't tell who they are. It's like
the actual box on the box the game came in. It's like cartoon drawings of them.
Oh, wild!
Like jumping over some rooftop. So I bought that and I was like, oh, cool! This is a first-person shooter that runs on my Game Boy Advance. It's actually pretty decent. I was very excited. And then 6 months later, there's like a sequel coming out, and it's got vaguely a bit more like Antonio Banderas and Lucy Liu, still not quite their photographs. And then the film comes out, and I genuinely thought the film was based on the Game Boy game. I was like, whoa, nice.
That's a fast turnaround in that case.
Well, I wasn't in touch enough with what was going on in the wider culture to know that the Game Boy Advance game Ecks vs. Sever had not become a cultural phenomenon worthy of a movie. And I think I did figure out, like, before we even watched it, that it was not that what had happened. But I was like, that's why I was intrigued. So then I got my parents to rent the DVD and watch it with me. It was like our movie night on a Saturday night. And yeah, the only thing I remembered from watching it back then was that in a couple of the action scenes, they used songs which have like sampled spoken dialogue. And it was really confusing what was supposed to be being said in the film and what was just the song.
I was convinced that Chaos was a music video director because this feels like part of the music video director to movie director pipeline.
Mhm.
Like the best example I could think of is Highlander, where if you watch Highlander, it seems the thing that dates it the most is that people are just standing around talking and you just hear like music is constantly happening. And I guess most of it's Queen, if not all of it. But
yeah, Queen were like involved. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but that's not a thing that happens really anymore. This
Mm.
I have them all over my notes. It's like people start driving and then it goes like, it's like just the music. This is built on the fantasy of cool music plays while cool people do things.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
this is the big beat compilations that were running around the 90s. They just grabbed one of those and stuck it in as a score. Samples and all. Yeah.
Electronica. This is electronica.
So in your mind, McGee and Chaos were at the rave freebase and MDMA. Can you freebase MDMA?
I think if you have enough money to be a director, be a successful director in Thailand, you probably been to some raves. That's like where Red Bull comes from, man.
Gotta go on a pilgrimage to meet the Red Bull. Yeah.
So his name is actually Waich Chaos Ayananda. Chaos Ayananda.
I was choosing to pronounce his first name as Witch because that's even cooler.
That would be cool, actually. He's also known as Witch Chaos.
Yeah,
which is
exactly,
rad.
right?
It sounds like something I would fight in a video game and die to the first time.
Wicked Witch with Y's. That'd be cool.
I mean, if it hasn't happened, it will. In
Yeah.
the movie title.
Okay.
We've already had the Vivitch.
I've already lost track of who does summaries, but I think I do this one. I wrote one. Did someone else write
Go
one?
ahead, do it. No, dude, I was still watching the film when I came online.
Yeah, you clearly didn't. I was sure it wasn't you. I guess I wasn't sure if it was Mark's, but it's mine. Okay, cool. Because I wrote it. What, did you write one too?
I just saw the budget for the film. That's why I can't talk.
What? Oh, 70 million.
Holy shit.
I've seen
million.
the budget compared to the taking.
Made 16.
Yeah.
Holy God. No matter how much, this is a 70. Dude, I just watched Super Mario Brothers from 1993 because everyone, including you guys, did a podcast about it. And that was $40 million.
They blew up a lot of cars in this movie. And then some railroad cars.
That's true, yeah.
Cost money to blow up cars and pay Antonio.
Also, Banderas and you were like big stars at the time.
Yeah.
I bet their paychecks weren't cheap.
Some notable paychecks.
Wow.
Okay. Anyway, on to that tale of this film, which also broke my brain writing this. Michael Gant, son of Defense Intelligence Agency Robert Gant, is kidnapped by former DIA agent.
Sorry,
Sever.
I'm already going to have to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Son of Defense Agency Robert Gant.
I told you
he is the agency. He is the agency.
So there's Michael Gant. He's the little kid, and there's Robert Gant, and he's the director. Director is what the word I forgot to write. Okay. Son of Defense Intelligence Agency Director Robert Gant. There we go. Is kidnapped by former DIA agent Sever. Another ex-agent, Jeremiah Ecks, can't talk, is brought in to investigate. With a little help from his spy friends, Ecks learns that Michael Gant is basically a mule implanted with a potential heart attack nanobot sort of tech. Sever's got a bug up her arse about this kind of thing since the agency forced her into learning the art of kill. Ecks goes versus Sever for a bit, as the title implies, but once Ecks gets taken in by the Popo, Sever breaks him out, and now it is more like Ecks and Sever. Sever informs Ecks that Robert Gant's wife is actually his wife, and Michael Gant is actually his son. With some kind of righteous indignation in mind, the team of Ecks and Sever, which openly mocks the title, not being versus, attacks Gant's supervillain bunker, resolves this nanobot shit in a way that I zoned out for, and Ecks is reunited with his family. Sever's family is all dead.
She was severed from her family. That's why she's called Sever.
Ah, that's a shitty nickname.
That's an awesome nickname. Are you kidding me? I'd love to be Sever. Do you just start calling me Sever? I don't care. I don't need to be Ballistic.
It's like, hey, what's up, dead parents? It's like,
was like there was something like revenge that she was after, but I didn't entirely have my finger on it.
I guess she was Black Widowed.
Like, it wasn't just that she was Black Widowed. She had a kid despite being, a Black Widow. And like he'd killed the kid or forced her to kill the kid or something.
Did we see the kid die, or was it just like that weird computer video of a nuke going off?
There was that, and we saw a picture of her holding it, and then she explained it in a phone call.
Okay.
I mean, I
guess we
guess
sort of see the fake Antonio Banderas dying part, where it's like
the film clearly cared a lot more about his story than hers.
Yeah, but it has Gant just like holding a remote going beep, and then the car blows up, and she's like, "No, it's
that was so funny because she goes, Jeremy." It's like the worst.
The plot is all in the details, really.
Yeah.
So actors, I guess we talk actors a little bit. Yeah, I felt like Lucy Liu was resolutely determined not to act in this. Like I just kept thinking of her going nuts in Kill Bill and being like, "What? No, what?
Yeah.
How?"
Yeah, she's better than this. I was a little confused by that, and she must be doing it for some reason. Like she's not. Yeah, she's
like you were saying, Matt, earlier. The direction for her was just be a stone cold assassin.
I think Mark said that, but sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure Matt agrees with me because I'm right.
Okay. Yes.
I can't explain it either way. There's either she was just like, this is a piece of shit and I'm not even gonna try, or it's just trying to be as frosty as possible.
Stay frosty.
But also, Antonio Banderas I couldn't understand what he was saying, and I feel like maybe he needed a pass with ADR or something. I'm like, he speaks better English than this, right? I was genuinely confused by that too. Like I had trouble with it.
Yeah, I was scanning the reviews on IMDb, and before I had gone to looking for the 10-star ones, some of the 1-star ones described him as speaking like he had 12 olives stuck in his mouth. So I thought that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he just was actually wankered for the whole thing.
It'd be amazing if he got together with Lucy Liu at a bar and they were just like, tell you what, this piece of shit is going to suck. I'm just going to speak with as thick an accent as possible, and then you pretend that you're a robot.
But maybe, like, we talked just now about the 93 Mario movie. Maybe they went that route, and just like Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo, they just got pissed. Just spent the entire production off them that.
I want to believe that. I really do.
Lucy looks sober. But maybe she's just hiding it really well. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that's why she's so emotionless, is because that's how she hides being drunk.
Yeah, some people are quiet drunks.
And Banderas is just like kind of like sprawling out all over the place.
Yeah. Is this libel? Are we doing libel now?
Allegedly.
We're just guessing.
Yes. Alleged by us.
We're just asking questions.
Do you guys think that Elon Musk is going to turn into the Gantt at some point? He's going to start like just smuggling electronics in some of his kids.
He's not competent enough.
Yeah,
he's smuggling Neuralinks in kids.
I can't see him like being powerful enough that he can get people to kill for him. Like, I don't think that's
he can't even get people to stay at Twitter for him.
Yeah, he can't get people to stay at Twitter who were already like sleeping in their office before he got there.
Yeah.
Well,
he can't get people to follow him on his own social media platform and laugh at his jokes. So
that guy, I thought that guy kind of sucked, actually. Whoever played Gantt.
I've seen him in stuff, but I can't think what. Basically playing this role.
Smug prick. He's your go-to guy for a smug prick, I guess.
Yeah. I've got the wiki page open. Give me a second. Greg Henry is his name.
That's a bland name.
He was in Scarface.
What?
And Body Double and Raising Cain. He's a De Palma guy, I guess.
Oh, okay. Well, how the mighty have fallen, I guess.
Indeed.
Just in a chaos jam.
I think there are definitely
he's in one of the Bourne movies, basically playing one of these guys, I bet.
He plays Peter Quill's grandfather.
Oh, yeah.
Raiders of the Galaxy.
No, I can remember him in that scene now. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
He was in Star Trek Insurrection.
Okay.
That's a good movie. What else has Chaos done while you're doing the man in the chair work there?
Oh, dude. He made a sequel to the live action Tekken movie, which I didn't even know there was a sequel to this. I'm sorry, it's a prequel? It's a prequel.
Okay.
I checked IMDb, that has like a 2 or something like that. It's supposed to be bad. Kazuya's Revenge.
Either of the Tekken movies on this list?
No, I think the movies have to get 5,000 votes to end up on the list. So
I was going to say, I guarantee you they're both worse than this.
Yeah.
So I guess, we have to explain the list a little more, because I was looking at a few movies. I was like, don't those suck more? And I think 5,000 votes might be the threshold to make the list, which kind of makes sense. That means we're just not watching, like just general weird low budget blandness so much.
Maybe we should make some editorial choices. Like once a year, each of us gets to pick a shitty movie that's not on the list because it's too obscure.
I was going to say either like once a year or at the end when we've got through the whole list, we should do like our top 10s and bottom 10s.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff we should have made the list.
I think we should get a birthday pick. Maybe that's how it should work. When's your birthday? You get to pick a shitty movie to do.
Highlander 2. I don't think that's on there, is it?
No, weirdly, it's not. I guess a few people like it.
That's
that
like
certainly would
very hated. That's like the immediate thing that comes up when there's a Reddit discussion of bad sequels or anything like that. It's immediately.
I guess that has some, so bad that you love it sort of love.
It's better than this.
Rating. Yeah,
I think it's better than this.
Also, it's a lot of it is it's bad sequel, but not necessarily like the worst film ever made.
Yeah, that's one of those where if it wasn't a Highlander movie, it's just like if Super Mario Brothers wasn't a Super Mario Brothers movie, then people
I
would
mean,
probably like it better.
I think Super Mario Brothers movie is a great movie in part because it's a Mario movie.
I love the idea that you could interpret a Mario Brothers. This is the thing, is that we live in the world of the future where Nintendo has been pumping out very good Mario games for years, but they all look exactly the fucking same. And the movie looks exactly the same as every non-Paper Mario game. And I'm kind of like, you guys have done, I don't know, that's part of why I love Yoshi's Island so much, is because they were trying something different and then they just stopped trying something different as far as
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not the biggest fan of the new Super Mario Brothers games.
Yeah.
Because it's the Mario from like cereal boxes.
Yeah, the music is also terrible in those, where it's
always somebody going,
bap, 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 bap. It's bad.
Anyway. I'm into it, but you know.
But you want the cereal, right? Gotta have Mario.
I want the cereal.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Mario movie, your guest pointed this out, but I was gonna actually post a Facebook post about it, which is like they just proved that they could do Mario Cyberpunk 2077 if they wanted to. Because that's what that movie basically is. It could totally be that.
For this one, I guess we need to talk a little bit of Ray Park, because there was like you were saying, oh, this is why he's in here. It takes a while. He's a slow burn.
Well, that's it, because Star Wars was smart enough to dub him with Peter Serafinowicz. X-Men was smart enough to have him basically just be silent and everything was in creepy physical performances. But this has him actually talking and trying to act through the whole film. And he cannot.
I mean, he could fight.
Ray Park is a man of many talents. That's not one of them.
Am I remembering this wrong? Do they not have him fight at all until the last scene?
Yeah, he's mostly walking around giving orders to other men. It's only in the final fight with Lucy Liu that he actually does any martial arts.
Maybe he should have been Ecks. It should have been them two.
But then you'd have had him even more acting.
No, I mean, I don't think that he should have had the Antonio Banderas role. He just should have been called Ecks, and then we work up to finally the two of them fight, because that's
true. Then the film actually would have been about Ecks versus Sever.
Oh, you just want to change the names around a little bit. Okay.
I'm not usually anal about this type of stuff, but I was just like, I kept putting in my notes, all right, let's go Ecks versus Sever, and then they just kept not really fighting.
Well, what did I write for my final name for this movie? Ball licks sticks, Ecks and Sever versus Robert. That's my name. That's my name for the movie.
Witty.
Ecks and Sever versus Robert.
That'd be good on a movie poster, right? You know, Robert does what Robert wants. If he doesn't, terrorists win. You know.
I just don't think that you should name your movie Ballistic Expert. Maybe it just shouldn't have been named that. I don't think that was sort of a thing when it came out. My story with the movie was, I was like, wow, that's a terrible title. I bet this is going to be hilariously shitty. And then I just forgot to ever watch it for 20 years. I was going to go to the theater and watch it, but I just, I think it was out of theaters really fast.
The Heart of Nan Attack. There's a good title. The Heart of Nan Attack. It's like,
should call it Boy in a Cage.
Heart Attack.
Boy in a Cage with a
doesn't quite work, man.
It's both of these titles is better than the real one. So
it could have just called it Ballistic. I think. I
think they should have stuck with Ecks versus Sever, because that's what the game we.
And it looks.
I think they should have really leaned into it and called it Ecks versus Sever 2. Just said it was a sequel to the game.
Well, what was that recent horror movie where they made a really confusing title? Where it was the sequel to a movie called The Boy, and then the sequel is called Brahms: The Boy 2.
Brahms, like the composer?
That's the name of the second boy, is Brahms.
Oh,
I guess.
So
I haven't seen it.
So he has nothing to do with writing symphonies.
No, maybe he writes symphonies.
Okay.
I haven't watched it. I'm not here to judge things I haven't seen.
Horror symphonies. But you're here to judge this.
Yeah. What if he just gets a conductor baton and just stabs people? That's not going to be on this list or the other list.
Especially because we screenshotted the list when It was Matt's
It should-
birthday, so anything that came out after is not going to make it.
X/Sever. That would have solved all the problems.
Like
Oh,
face
hello.
off?
X,
Okay.
X plus
You
Sever.
mean like Oh, see, no, Ecks/Sever. That means like romantic
be
fan fiction.
Well, it can't be. Isn't it? It can't be slash if it's not gay, right? Or am I crazy?
It can be. It slash is just romantic fanfic. I mean,
Okay.
it very often is gay,
Yeah,
but that's not a rule. That's just a trend.
that's an indictment of our society that people have to do that to get what they want.
Do you
to get gay
think
content,
someone
yeah.
wrote that?
Yeah.
Is that out there on the internet? Some X/Sever fanfic?
Nope,
I'm
it's
going to
same-
find it for you right now.
It's same sex.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
slash has to be same sex.
That's what it says. Yeah, but there's no reason that you couldn't have a slash fic that has a gender reassignment at the beginning of it.
Oh yeah, there
Mark,
could be a one where they're both female.
No reason.
Mark, you've heard about the manga trend, right? All the teenagers love to read boy love manga now.
I heard something like someone made a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure comic like 20 years ago where two of the male characters live together and one of them lays an egg.
Okay,
It's their baby.
guys,
You know about this?
I need you both to shut up because you're both sounding really old and really ignorant and really dumb.
Fair enough.
We'll have this conversation another time. My girlfriend writes gay fan fiction like professionally. People pay her to do it. So
Hell yeah, dude. Get it.
I
Get
cannot
that-
be on a podcast with you two just spouting a load of ignorant crap jokes about it. So
No, I was just leading to where I was in the Animate store. My daughter was looking around. I was just blankly staring off into one direction. She was like, "Oh my God, you can't be staring in that direction." So I started staring in another direction, and then she, "Oh my God, you can't be staring in that direction," because I kept staring like I was just facing in the general direction of things.
yeah,
that-
boys love's not a
recent.
recent trend, Matt.
No, it's not, but it's recently spiked. Like I think.
No, you've just noticed it because your daughter became a teenager.
Yeah, maybe that's it. But anyway, I learned about because I was just blankly staring off in that direction. She was like, "Oh my God, Dad, don't stare in that direction." So I started staring in another direction. It's, "Oh my God, Dad, don't stare in that direction." So I guess
I mean,
just have to
it's
keep-
the manga shop. There's not many safe directions.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I was getting on that.
I just am thoroughly internet poisoned, and I'm trying to take in as much internet poison as I can on a daily basis.
Anyway, did you find us some gold? You said you were.
Oh
looking?
no, I got distracted by you guys.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
We're distracting.
That's
mean,
right.
I'm I'm
Someone's writing.
probably not gonna find it. Let's be fair.
Someone's writing about it right now.
Someone's it's
distracted.
being created. You can write it if you want. Sure, why not?
I'm too busy making podcasts, man. Someone else has to write it.
You do both.
I
at the same
no,
time.
literally, I found more stuff where other fanfics mention X versus Sever in the dialogue. So
Wow. Okay.
I
Interesting.
found a Smallville fan fiction in which Chloe says, "Don't make me go X versus Sever on you."
But
Wow,
what if-
that aged badly.
It's a Lois/Chloe fanfic.
I
Well.
never saw Smallville, so that means nothing.
Well,
to me.
they're cousins, which is not great.
I think Chloe ruined.
Oh,
Ruined
Matt,
her,
we're going to be hearing a lot about Smallville in a couple of weeks because the Chun-Li movie we're doing stars the Lana Lang from Smallville. And we're going to have to
Right.
get into all the weird cult stuff that she was adjacent to.
Oh, okay, that sounds like fun.
It's not. It's really dark.
Oh, that doesn't sound like fun.
But she wasn't
need-
super involved. It was mostly the other one.
This is big, high on my list of things I want to watch. Is the first Street Fighter movie? Is that on the list?
It's
It's
not
not
because
just
that's
a
a
I have
banger.
to do it individually. It's
You
too
can't
good.
watch it. You can't watch it. You can only watch it.
We
from
might
the-
maybe we'll do it as a Patreon exclusive when we do the other one.
Okay. See, I want to.
Right.
Yeah, it's good. It's
Again.
a great film.
Never got around to it. And the story of it is incredible. Like all the
Chun-Li,
oral
we
history.
don't know about yet. We don't know about yet.
I don't think it's. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not going to judge stuff I haven't watched.
I'm gonna get on this boat and I'm gonna go up that river and I'm gonna kick that son of a bitch bison's ass so hard. The next bison wannabe is gonna feel it.
Did you start Van Damme and then just kind of slip out? Was that?
Because I think I accidentally started Schwarzenegger and I remembered it's Van Damme.
Yeah, oh, okay. Because I did have a second where I was like, because she swore. Well, Van Damme. What does he even? I don't know what he sounds like. I
Those
just
Those
know
are
what he looks like
difficult.
kicking someone in the head.
I think
Well, in this
Schwarzenegger's
film,
difficult, but Van Damme's probably harder.
He has a strong Belgian accent all the way through the film, but also has a big USA flag tattoo.
Well,
Yeah, because he's Guile, right? He's literally he plays the
He's Guile.
character who, like, you fight on an aircraft carrier and there are flags everywhere in the game. It's like he's the most American character imaginable.
you can get the tattoo of another country's flag if you want.
Well, maybe I should.
Maybe you should.
Gonna get a USSR tattoo.
Okay, that's the what country would be fun? That one. That's not. I don't.
That wouldn't be very fun because anybody
No.
who actually wanted to talk to you about it would
No,
be
it
pretty
wouldn't be
annoying,
fun.
probably.
Yeah. I guess that's where I was getting. What flag would you want if it's not your country? I wouldn't want my country's flag tattooed on me either.
Well, there's a subreddit called
Brazil,
Vexel.
of course.
Oh yeah, Brazil. Dun, dun,
Got
dun,
that
dun, dun.
planet on it. Yeah.
There's a subreddit called Vexillology Circle Jerk where people just make flags that are ridiculous. I highly recommend checking that out.
Wait, what was the word?
Those.
What was the word?
Vexillology?
Is that an actual word for flagging?
Yeah, it's like I guess it's the science of flags.
Okay, cool. Like it's geography, it's flags. Okay.
Yeah, but people just make stuff. It's like, what if it's the BP flag, but then it was discovered by Britain, and it's just the BP logo with the British flag in the corner?
Okay. I think maybe this isn't good audio podcast material.
Trust me, I'm looking at it right now, and it's hilarious.
Okay. Well, people should go check that out, I guess. Oh,
yeah, that's my plug for that subreddit.
Did anyone know? We talked about the soundtrack a little bit, but why was the Phil Collins In the Air Tonight drum fill in this like 8 times? Like
I
they used
catch that
like 8 times.
That's what the Ballistic is referring to.
Probably. Oh, that's In the Air Tonight, the Ballistic. Yeah, when that happened like 8 times, they go to the next scene and you're.
I mean, this is it's 2002. Sampling technology was basically at its peak. Someone sampled that for their techno track and it just played 8 times. That's my explanation. I have no idea if that's right or not.
That's probably right. I don't know. Another note I wrote is it may be a backhanded compliment, but this nails the feeling of playing a mediocre Game Boy game. But maybe it's not mediocre. You want to tell us your gaming experience on it?
It's at least well reviewed. It's got like a 9 out of 10 at the time. So my playing it back in 2002, it was mind blowing, right? Because on my Game Boy Advance, I had first person shooters that basically played like Doom, including literally Doom. It's not great to play now, but it is playable enough.
Mediocre's fine. I liked Mark's version.
I tried to play it on an emulator and it was glitched out to hell. It felt like a good Doom like until it just started going flipping out and frames whatever. I thought it was really funny that like basically Ecks and Sever were both clearly like South Asian people, and the narration sounded like basically like, what is it, M who gives James Bond missions?
Yeah.
The person giving missions was like, "Great to see you. No time for formalities. The war on terror has reached the," it's just.
Oh yeah, yeah. So you were playing the sequel,
the first one.
Which are you sure?
I think I was playing the first one.
No, I think you were playing the sequel because it just
mentions
gives you a
chaos.
plot.
It had Agent Chaos or something with a K, so they already knew who the director was clearly.
But because I played a little bit of both of them this morning while I was watching the film.
Well, it does say Ecks versus Sever. Does that mean it's the second one? Ballistic Ecks versus Sever?
If it says Ballistic, it's the second one.
Okay, then it is the second one. My bad.
Yeah, here are the 2 cartridges. The first one just says Ecks versus Sever, and the second one looks a bit more like the film logo.
Wow,
but Ecks
fought Sever more in the video games than in the movie.
Yeah, the second one is a sequel to the films because they already made the whole script of the film in the first one. So they're just secret agents doing missions in the Middle East. It's like unrelated.
Yeah. Well, I found the soundtrack. So basically, this is 2002. The Crystal Method featuring Tom
1997.
Morello. Tom Morello is involved for some reason.
Okay.
Yeah, BT, Bedrock, Parrot, Darude of Sandstorm fame,
Yeah.
Curve, and
Right.
Sasha.
DJ Sasha.
Stick out.
Okay. Yeah.
don't know
See,
if- Sasha was known as DJ Sasha, but they're just
I just feel like that
ubiquitous
was a thing.
electronic man.
Yeah. So
From the UK.
basically, it's very cutting edge 1997 music.
Yep.
Okay. I guess
I
5
don't-
years.
On a film in 2002.
Yeah.
Well, what's cutting edge 2002 mean? What would you expect from the 2002 soundtrack? Are we back to like
Crazy
Britney
Frog.
Spears? Crazy Frog.
I guess that's the one year you were allowed to put the Strokes on your soundtrack.
I'm just gonna look at music of 2002, and here we go. Complicated by Avril Lavigne.
That would have suited this film to a T.
Skater
Why'd you have
Boy
to
came
go
out
and make
this year.
things so ballistic.
Lose Yourself by Eminem, Ja Rule. It was like kind of the serious glam hip hop era, and Junior Senior came out. Could have had Junior Senior in it. Coldplay.
No, I don't want
Foo
Coldplay in
Fighters.
anything.
I guess Foo Fighters just have existed forever.
They.
Coldplay are also associated with first-person shooters in my head. There's a
Interesting.
funny video of a guy playing Call of Duty and really loudly singing along to Yellow, not realizing that he's on audio.
Coldplay
someone,
always
recorded
Sorry.
it and then put the music under him, and then like at the end you hear everyone like start clapping and he realizes people listening.
I don't know why Coldplay has always made me think of the Olympics. That would sound like they should be for music for the Olympics.
Because it's something that's famous and we're told is important, but I don't know anyone who actively likes it.
I think it's just because it's like piano and then sad, kind of like sad, poignant. This is meaningful. The Olympics like depend on someone telling you that it's meaningful. That's what Coldplay makes me think of, I guess.
When did Pitbull become a thing? There was that one guy that like instantly got fucked up, and I was like, oh, that guy looks like Pitbull, but I don't know. It probably wasn't.
Oh, you mean the guy who's like he's hitting on the chick and then Sever just walks by and murders it?
Yeah,
that was great.
I was hoping it was a Pitbull cameo because I mean maybe it's just because he was like like Hitman shiny, right? So
his career barely started in like 2001.
Okay.
Wait, he started out in Luther Campbell's Luke Records. That's wild. I didn't realize
somewhere.
he was.
Gotta start somewhere. Yeah. He's like there's someone because he's like that's the thing. He's one of the most massive, like as far as concert draw, he's like one of the biggest draws on the planet. But he never really seemed to be on the forefront of things. I guess that's just how.
That's because you two were not clubbing when Pitbull was big.
Okay. I have some
True.
Pitbull CDs. I got them for 50 yen.
I bet it's gonna be one of those things where you hear a bunch of the songs and you're like, oh, I actually do know a bunch of these.
Yeah,
songs.
I think also Pitbull is on a lot of songs, but you think of the other artists before him.
Yeah, like I tried to listen to I listened to a bunch of Rihanna because I'm like, I don't really know Rihanna. I should just listen to a bunch of Rihanna, and there's half of it was like, oh, that's this song. Yeah, it's just stuff that you've heard in the background.
I listened to a Brandy CD last week, but it was kind of boring.
Was there anything that was like, oh, I heard this before?
Nothing hit me in the middle of the head with that now.
Sorry, Brandy.
I think I got yeah, sorry, Brandy. I think well, it was just like really, kind of ethereal beats, and she's just crooning along, and it's just I'm gonna go to sleep with this. It's sleepy time music, I guess.
Well, sometimes you gotta take a little brandy before bed.
I don't even know who Brandy is.
She's a singer.
I mean, I guess that much from context, Matthew.
She's actually the president of Spain. It's crazy.
Cool. She put out albums, huh? That's
yeah, they're all spoken word.
They're all diatribes about politics. That could put you to sleep, I guess.
Yeah, it could. Okay.
They're all just long essays on why Catalan shouldn't be its own country.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's a big thing. Yeah, and also northeast of there, the Basque country, they also want to be their own country. So a lot of Spain is fed up with that Spanish stuff. It seems.
It all goes
So-
back to Portugal. Portugal did it, and they all got big ideas.
Yeah. I mean, they all have
So-
different languages, though, because the Basque region, that's the one where like it has no relation to any other language, so it's really weird.
Yeah,
I
they
have-
the main Spanish speakers call the Catalan Polish just because they can't understand what they're saying.
I mean, like the first time I heard people from Portugal speaking Portuguese, I thought it sounded like more like Polish than anything I've ever heard. It was like wild. They were nice guys, though. So I'm looking at a little trivia here. Originally, the film had Dolph Lundgren attached.
Would he have been the
And-
bad guy? That would have been pretty cool.
It doesn't really say.
Because
that would have been
it looks
incredible.
like they got cut rate Dolph Lundgren. So
19. This is 88, 89. So it goes. Back
okay,
that
then no, he
far.
would have been Ecks, I guess.
What, this script is that old?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Did you ever see Gemini Man? The sort of
No.
feels like that. Doesn't it feel? It feels kind of like an 80s script, which makes sense. Gemini Man was like a 20-year-old script. It was from the 90s and it came out like in 2019, and it was very bad.
Okay.
Probably not going to be on this list because people like Ang Lee too much. But okay, so it was unproduced until 1999 when it was picked up for production with the new title Ecks versus Sever. Sorry, it was titled Legion, and then it was titled Gunner, and that's when Dolph Lundgren was attached. Then we have Wesley Snipes and Jet Li attached. Then Sylvester Stallone and Vin Diesel. Then it was completely rewritten because it was too expensive before this. Jesus Christ.
Well, I guess they were right. 70 million, right?
What I
But-
don't understand is what is the concept of this film?
You heard my brain shatter. when I
Okay,
tried to summarize it.
1986 spec script called Legion was an action thriller about an ex-LA cop who's called in to help track down a rogue CIA agent codenamed Legion who went on a killing spree.
That
Yeah, that's
doesn't-
it. It's just cop tries to catch assassin, they team up. That's not like this great ingenious idea that the script needs to be clung onto like the holy grail for all these decades. Like,
Yeah,
that's
it's
why
so
I don't
strange.
understand.
It's weird when you hear about this, when you hear scripts that just turn into these like shambling zombies and get rewritten over and over, and then 20 years later they get made, but then there are probably 50 scripts a year that are probably good that nobody pays any attention to.
Well, it's
I
Right,
have no idea how
exactly.
this economy works.
It's like the money pit house thing, right? You've already put so much in. Now, well, I guess we're gonna put a little more in. I mean, we already own it, right?
Yeah, scripts are the original Bitcoin.
Mm.
Yeah.
I've spent money on it, so I need to convince someone else to spend money on it.
Bad scripts are NFTs.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe it's like some guy killed someone for you, so you take his script and you're like, I'll buy your script because you did that thing I need you to do.
I'm sure
Here you
that
go.
happens.
Here's $10,000. I'll buy you a script. And then like 30 years later, it turns into fantasy movie or something.
Find it, in the bottom of your closet, and yeah.
But, surprisingly, the entire subplot about nanotechnology was just sort of grafted on last second when The Matrix came out.
Okay.
Oh yeah, because The Matrix, that famous film about nanotechnology.
This feels like it. Did either of you ever see Punisher Warzone?
Yet.
Maybe I saw the first Punisher.
This is that's one of my favorite superhero movies, if not my very favorite, because it was made by Lexi Alexander, who is an Austrian kickboxer, and she basically approached it the same way that Paul Verhoeven approached RoboCop, which is like, this is some stupid bullshit. I'm going to do whatever I want. And there's a scene in that movie where there's just these parkour guys who are like, yeah, and then this music plays. It's like, and Punisher just like shoots them with a rocket launcher and explodes them. And that's like the entire scene. I feel almost like that was direct commentary on this entire film. I have no idea if that's the case, but
I embarrassingly watched maybe 1989 Punisher like a lot. I think it was direct to video.
I thought that was kind of good. I think it was
Well-
direct to video because it was so violent that they didn't want to put it out in the theater or
Oh.
something like that.
Okay, well maybe that's why I watched it too many times.
I remember. I mean, Dolph Lundgren is.
Oh yeah, we're back to Dolph there. Sorry, I probably haven't watched it since 1992, but
I don't know, but it's not. I know it's not as good as Punisher Warzone, but I don't remember much about it.
right.
I've seen the one with John Travolta as the bad guy, which I think is the worst of the three Punisher films.
That's what I understand. I have not seen it. It came out and it was PG-13, so I was probably like
PG-13
25.
Punisher does not make much sense.
Yeah, I was probably like 25, and I was just like, nah, fuck that, no way, dude.
Is that the one with the two first name guy?
Probably.
Thomas Jane.
Sirhan?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Okay. No, that's the same
Thomas
name, Mark.
Jane.
That's
Yeah, it's
that's
two
a
first
repeated
names.
name. Yeah.
Two first
Repeated. That's a
names.
repeated first names. Okay. Do we pass judgment on this one? It's a film. It's a filth.
I'm gonna call this a film.
Okay. Why is that?
Because I was entertained and I sort of understood what was going on.
Okay. I'm not going to call it filth, but I'm going to accuse it of being somewhat boring, which is a pretty major movie sin.
I enjoyed watching this probably more than you did, Matt, but I've watched an awful lot of mediocre action films in my day.
I mean, talking about the 80s thing, I'm like, if this were 80s schlock, I think it would be a lot better.
It's, I mean, I feel
None
like
of the
everything
action was bad.
None of the action was bad. All the complaints I have about it just made it funnier, really.
Like the fact that you've got Ray Park all the way through the film, just going like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, we didn't even touch on the guy who recruits Ecks at the beginning is just this depressed FBI agent who's just like, oh, okay. And then he just gets shot in the head because he's standing around too long. Like, that was hilarious to me.
Well, he wasn't sucking the marrow out of life, was he?
Yeah, it was. I actually called it in my notes. I was like, he's going to be the next one to die. And then he just got shot in the head immediately after I typed it.
I mean, I'm sure it'd be great fun to get stoned with Antonio Banderas and then watch this movie with him. That would be awesome.
Well, that's it. I think the more interesting question is not how do we rate this film, because the answer is it's like it's impossible to have feeling about this film. It's just The interesting question is how has this gotten the reputation it's got?
Yeah, it would need to be a little bit more whack, I think, you know?
I bet the title pulls a lot of the weight. Like, people are going in being like, this is a dumb title, and I'm going to go in assuming this is a dumb movie. I truly believe that branding is so important.
I wonder if also just it being like a low point in two great actors' careers, right?
Were they at a low point? I mean, Charlie's.
No, this film is specifically a low point.
Okay,
it's a black hole of their career.
I mean, we're gonna have more notorious black holes later on. Geegly, and Glitter are both on the list. You know, from Justin to Kelly, that's on the list. I mean, I don't know if Britney Spears' Crossroads on the list. I might have not made it. I don't remember.
I'm actually expecting to really like Glitter, but I haven't seen it.
Oh, those are sorts of movies.
It's 1 year older than my mum.
No, those are the kinds of films I'm super looking forward to getting to, you know?
Yeah, in Spice World, I've actually been dying to watch Spice World, and it's like you can't find it, basically.
Oh, crap. I saw Spice World opening night. Yeah.
So, did you like it?
Yeah, we loved the Spice Girl. It was the dorm.
Oh, yeah, dude.
A bunch of dudes went off to go see Spice World on opening night. I mean, that's
yeah. See, I wasn't like that at that time, but I'm like that now. So I'm like, bring me Spice World.
This film came out between Shanghai Noon and Kill Bill Volume 1, so it did nothing to harm Lucy Liu's career.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about the Bad Man?
He's got Spy Kids, a bunch of other random stuff.
We're gonna get a lot of Spy Kids on the list. There's like, I think once you get to 3 and 4, we get those.
I've only seen 3, but I did not like it. He did Frida like the same year as this.
I saw like 1 and 2 the same in the theaters, I think. Probably with my brother.
Yeah, Once Upon a Time in Mexico is right after that. And then his Shrek career really starts kind of right after this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, damn.
Luke exploded.
I'm on Antonio Banderas' Wikipedia page. He's a full-on comrade. Antonio Banderas appeared among other figures for Spanish culture in a video supporting the Spanish Socialist Workers' Parties in general election. In 2013, he called on Europe and the United States to emulate Hugo Chavez and nationalize big corporations.
All right, hell yeah, dude. That's what
But then
probably
no, Scratchy, he's
no.
cancelled.
Then
In
he got
June
canceled.
2015, Banderas demonstrated support for Israel by taking part in a fundraising event organized by the Friends of the Israeli Defense Forces. So,
He just goes where he's wanted and not wanted.
No one has
does that-
ever risen and fallen in my esteem so quickly.
Is that like the dichotomy of Zorro? Is like, do you think Zorro would like be a socialist and then also fight with Israel?
He is a
So you
rich
think
man,
he's
right?
Embodying Zorro. I don't remember Zorro. I remember liking it.
I think OG Zorro is. I can't remember if Antonio Banderas' Zorro is.
The Zorro gets
Yes.
confusing because there's like Son of Zorro. The most famous Zorro serial is technically a sequel or someone else's Zorro, I think.
Mhm.
It's kind
It's
of
like Kamen
confusing.
Rider.
Yeah, that sort of thing. So, but I guess the baseline Zorro would be like OG Batman. Rich guy gets dressed up because he's a Don or whatever, right? So, how about a 10-star review for this film? That's
You need to
kind
start
of
remembering to
somebody
do
else
those in
got it.
advance.
yeah. I found a good one earlier, but it was like the second.
Yeah,
one,
you
I
know
think.
what? Fuck you, Matt. It's your turn.
Yeah.
Oh,
do it.
okay. Someone say something interesting then, because I gotta get the iPad out.
Something interesting.
Pepsi once had the 6th largest navy in the world.
So one more time.
If you mix Coke and Pepsi together, it tastes better than either one separately. They need each other.
Huh.
How about RC? Where does RC fit into all this?
Are you listening to some Pepsi / Coke fan fiction?
Yeah, Pepsi /
That's gotta exist.
He twisted his lid slightly, just so a slight amount of carbonation popped out. He said, "I see that you're next to me in the grocery aisle, although you aren't normally." Coke blushed.
A drip of condensation rolled down Coke's neck.
Hey, there's absolutely some for those M&M characters. That's why people were so pissed off last year, right?
I really prefer to pretend those people don't exist.
So the first one says good movie, right? And then it's warning, spoilers, good movie, and the rest of it is all an ad for the Fitness Gram Pacer test. Okay. But here's the better one that I saw earlier. Is it the one? Yeah, here we go. Super action flick by Graphics Man. This isn't just another action flick. This is a super action flick, all caps. When I see a flick that is supposed to be an action flick, I expect to see a lot of action. This flick doesn't disappoint. I suspect another Detroit assembly line had to be opened up just to supply the cars blown up in this film. Apparently, they ran out of cars because towards the end of the film, they started blowing up railroad cars. Lucy Liu really delivers the goods here. Watch her as she runs through an underground parking garage in one scene. She runs with her mouth closed, just like that liquid Terminator played by Robert Patrick in T2. Watch Antonio Banderas race around on a motorcycle without a helmet on. I was very surprised they let him do that. This movie screams sequel to me. I hope they have one using the same cast and director. One small detail. Watch for Antonio to kill the bad guy's Brit sidekick, then watch the Brit sidekick show up a few scenes later. I gave it a 10. That's the 10-star review.
That was amazing.
Super action flick. Yeah, I like that.
Super action flick.
It's an action flick. It's a super action flick.
It was
She
so
runs
giddy.
with her mouth closed.
Just like Robert Patrick in Terminator 2.
I mean, he did do that.
He's not wrong. The review is not wrong. You gotta
It's
love
not
just
technically incorrect.
it's so giddy for this film. You gotta love it. That's the kind of review that makes you like the film better. You're like, wow,
Yep.
if you can find little pleasures like that, then there's something going.
Is there anyone who writes reviews like that has their own podcast? Like,
Yeah, just no one's listening.
Can I have that? I would love to hear this person talk like, yes, she ran with her mouth closed. She seems very upset.
I think I did give the N1 scene like the wrong intonation and made it sound dumber though, just as in full disclosure. Let me try again. Lucy Liu really delivers the goods here. Watch her as she runs through an underground parking garage in one scene. I guess that's a little more sane sounding. Okay.
Well, there's a break there. I'm looking at it while you're reading it so that so I know exactly what you're saying.
Drop
It's like
the ballistic.
subtitles.
They just don't want the title. Okay. First time I saw the teaser for the movie, I stared at it without blinking.
Consult a doctor, my friend.
Oh, okay. There's not that much slow motion. That's a good point. It's.
There is that one really long shot of a guy falling on a car. The other thing I noticed at the film was near the start, there's the bit where like his goons go and pick up the kid. Obviously, they get in the car and drive away. But to make that happen, when she's pulling in, the other car follows her in reverse. Like,
Well,
just because they wanted the shot of him driving away afterwards, he follows her into the driveway in reverse. It's really bizarre.
oh, here's a nicely incoherent sentence. Unlike
Right.
Battlefield Earth, another franchise pictures film, this was so much better than that trash Battlefield Earth movie. So the movie is a very great action movie of the year 2003, and it's a 10/10.
Like Battlefield Earth has to be on this list, right?
Yeah, it's on the list.
Oh, yeah, it's like right near the end, I think.
Never seen it. So
No
there's
one
so
has.
much-
No, I've been waiting for it
people
for
seen
podcast
it.
purposes. Must has
Yeah.
seen it multiple times. I think he wrote an essay on it.
Okay.
Yeah, dude.
Um,
I think it's more expensive than this, probably. Was it like that was like 90 million, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, that's where
More than
Tom
that.
Cruise's money went.
I can get more money. I know how to get money. Sorry, I was trying to do a Tom Cruise psych.
No, we know what you're doing.
Okay. I didn't even know what I was doing after I did it. So
Oh, that one's budget is 73 million. It's very close to this.
Wow. You were technically correct. It is 3 million more.
Yeah, very close. I mean, for a movie
Technically
producer.
correct. The best kind of correct.
Exactly. And 2 years earlier, so it beat this movie to the failure pile, and it made more money.
So it was.
But its Game Boy game was shit.
Yeah, I bet they made more money from the Game Boy games than Battlefield Earth did from Battlefield Earth games, if that was the thing.
I like to hope that's the case. That's the world I like to believe that I live in.
I feel like Battlefield Earth should have had a crappy PC game.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Nice.
like King's Quest or
Sorry,
something.
nothing
Oh.
you said was interesting.
Oh.
TikTok has changed the character limit on their posts. So I don't have to
Oh,
fuck about figuring out how I'm gonna write what I write about my videos anymore.
Oh, okay.
can you put like dicks and boobs in it yet? It's still
People
censored,
do.
right? Yeah.
I mean, I'm putting my extremely family-friendly Pokemon podcasts on there. So.
Well,
I
now
mean,
it's dick and boobs.
Some Pokemon probably look like boobs. I can't remember which ones.
There's cast form looks pretty much like a boob, and then you've got Palkia or Combusken if you want one that looks like a dick.
Ah,
I feel like you get more of those. And then I guess big eyes, you can get that going.
there is a fan fiction of a Battlefield Earth game that's part of the Battlefield first-person shooter series.
No, okay.
A fan fiction. That's the other kind of fan fiction is people make up video games that don't exist.
And then you're Googling about, and it's very hard to tell which of those websites are fake and which ones are real wikis. And you're like,
yeah,
well, I didn't know about these 6 Godzilla. Oh, I see.
This is how the Flat Earth movement started. It's exactly this kind of shit.
With fake video games?
Yep. The fan fiction.
Because on the Nintendo 64, everything's mist. So there's no curve. It's just mist. That proves that.
There's no mist? Like the game Mist?
No.
Yeah, it didn't release on the N64.
That's why the Superman game was so crap, right? Everything it's like
Oh yeah, it's just
Have you played that?
Mist is why that's crap.
Yeah. Yeah, have you played it? Because I remember playing it in a GameStop at their like test station and being like, this is fucking terrible.
I think I think I played it ironically at some point. Like
It's
everyone already knew it was terrible.
It's like basically the entire game is a bunch of things that you would expect would be mini games that would be at the end of levels of a game, but none of it works right.
Yeah. So Superman. Okay.
Superman.
But the main thing I remember about it is the Nintendo mag I grew up reading, the unofficial one. They would always have a little box out of Lex Luthor's Solve My Maze. But then, just like the mazes in the game, it would never be a puzzle that made sense. It would just be it would just be like a random picture of 4 triangles, and they'd be like, "Solve my maze," and you're like, "Huh?"
Well, he's devious.
It's a good gag.
That Luke, sir.
I was one of those people who bought an N64 and it was just a GoldenEye machine until it was a Perfect Dark machine.
Mm.
So I played Ocarina of Time in 2018.
I'm someone who used to go around friends' houses specifically to play Pokemon Stadium on their N64s.
Yeah, I didn't understand Pokemon at all except for watching the cartoons while I was high until very recently.
I guess shall we sever this conversation then? Are we finished with this one?
Yeah, so let's X this out and sever it and get Ballistic.
Okay. There's a better title for the film. Great. Okay.
Let's if you enjoyed this podcast, make sure you go online and you donate all of your money to the Israeli Defense Fund.
People could take sound bites, man.
I haven't decided what to do with that soundbite I've got of Andy saying I am also a Nazi. Yeah, I've got it saved.
Supercuts. Okay, I guess I can real blurb a bit. This being Films and Filth podcast, support us on Patreon at Podcastius, where we do lots of podcasting. Podcasts about, well, you podcast about Pokemon. Luke loves Pokemon. Is Zelda up and running?
No, because the game comes out May 12th, so we'll be starting like 1 or 2 weeks before.
Oh, which might be around this time, so you can watch out for.
So yeah, check out Hyrule Field Report everywhere podcasts are found. It may have a Twitter if Twitter still exists.
Talk about the Twilight Zone at Time Enough podcast. Mark and I are just finishing our run on The Prisoner at Imprison in Prison, another Prisoner Prison cast, and so on. Did I say everything I needed to say there?
Occult Disney?
Oh yeah, that's something I do. Okay, if you want to hear about Occult Disney films, is there? I wonder what the overlap is between
Game Show,
Ecks versus Sever.
They're more likely to be people who want to listen to Game Show or into Ecks versus Sever. To be fair,
that makes more sense.
You guys can do a whole episode on that. Those two games.
Banter and stupidity about video games. Head over to Game Show. It's a game show about games.
There you go. We went through several iterations of plugging. Everyone plugged each other. It's cool.
Severex.
Severex sounds like a drug that I don't want to take.
Sounds like it sounds like a drug that makes your hand fall off.
Yeah, that's what I'll say. It makes your lips fall off. So this episode is brought to you by Severex.
Mm-hmm. And the IDF. And also socialism. This program brought to you by socialism.
I mean, they all are.
Ask your representative about it today.
Okay, I guess that's the sign off.
Yeah, why was that so hard to end? I don't know.
There was no logical point to end because we stopped talking about the film half an hour ago.
I mean, there's not that much going on in the film except for exploding cars, but that's cool, So
yeah, there may be a couple of good movies that I like less than quote unquote good movies that I like less than this.
Oh, you mean like films from the other list? Yeah, same.
Yeah, yeah.
No
there's a couple I have like direct, like specific issues with, and I'm almost like I don't know if I should be on those.
We have like 3 Kevin Spacey films.
Yeah, that's a problem.
I mean, yeah, feel free to be on ones you hate as well.
Yeah.
Makes it more interesting.
Specifically, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I feel like it's kind of like
I think that's a film that is probably worth examining in the modern light as being potentially not great. So
yeah, I may feel differently, but when I watched it, I was kind of like iffy about it, and then very quickly I was like, I hate this film's message.
Well, that's a good reason to be there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's like a year away anyway.
Use something like that. Yeah. I don't have that list in front of me. What is
it's gonna be my.
Who knows?
Okay.
Maybe I'll be dating somebody toxic then, and I'll feel totally different.